Hey guys, it's Eddie from Nights Podcasting, and this is another music review. And I know what you're thinking, do other things such as other than music reviews, in which I promise I'm gonna get to that and sneak peek to the next one. Not sneak peek, but I'm going to do a different artist on the next album review. It's gonna be hinted at the end of the video, so yeah, look out. And anyways, today we're gonna do an album review of this specific artist. I don't know if you know him, but we're gonna do a review on his earlier album, Sire, and it's gonna be we're gonna be reviewing Erys by Jaden Smith. It's a 2019 trap album similar to Sire in a sense. It gives a coming of age type of theme, but Erys is much more aggressive in its delivery. But again, Erys is just Sire backwards, but it's kind of cool how both sound cool if you think about it, like Sire, Erys. Isn't Iris like your eye? Okay, but anyways, honestly, if I ever made music, I would probably name my first album Yeti. That honestly, isn't that like a monster, like a snow monster? That's Eddie backwards, by the way, which sounds pretty decent. Yeah, but well, anyways, we're getting off track with this. So Erys begins with 4 tracks that spell the color pink, which is similar to Sire, in which it spells the first 4 tracks of Sire spells out blue. The main difference, however, is unlike Sire, Erys starts off, and to be honest, the entire album, excluding Summertime in Paris, for an example, is a pretty intense throughout its production. What's kind of cool is it begins with Willow singing with a similar interlude in the track B, but instead of it transitioning smoothly to Jaden's rap verse, it just immediately bam, with a very trappy, aggressive track in it, the track I mean. But like I said, again, the album does present a lot of tracks that are very aggressive in a sense, such as tracks like Noise featuring Tyler the Creator, Chateau featuring A$AP Rocky, and Fire Department, just to name a few. Progressing more into the album, he makes it clear that Erys is a completely different person than Sire, through him saying, "Sire died in the sunset, don't be like him," as saying, "Hey, I'm not this antisocial teenager that's lovesick over a girl anymore." And I really enjoy the swagger or sort of arrogance he carries about himself in the album. In addition, he shows his side of vulnerability like he did in Sire. There was a track called Again, which was also featured. It was literally said that Again, featured by Sire, which of course was a reference towards Sire. And I think that was really is a good balance along the rap tracks, as it just transitions from Jaden doing a rap verse right into a calm beat. An example is, in the track Again, featuring Sire. For the first 2 minutes, it was just him basically flexing and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm on top, look at what I got." And after the 2 minutes, it just transitions into him being vulnerable for another girl and wanting to be with her, which is kind of funny to talk about, and kind of ironic, because after 2 minutes of basically flexing, he does the same exact thing in the song Pain, as it's a couple minutes of Jaden pretentiously rapping about cars and flying out to luxurious places. But as I'm saying this, at this point you're probably listening to this, it just sounds like I hate this album. But for me personally, this may sound bad, but someone can talk about the most generic thing that's been talked about on countless amount of songs, but as long as it sounds good, or I can see myself getting amped to it, I'll like it regardless. I feel people, I feel people can agree with me on this. That was Jaden is not the most lyrical rapper. Oh, really, Sherlock? But he has somewhat of a mediocre flow on most of his rap tracks, excluding track Chateau, which is also on the album, but we are going to get to that later. And why people enjoy Jaden is mainly due to his excellent production selection, and he's very versatile. He can start off a track aggressive and slow down, and transition very smoothly to his singing. He's not praised for his rapping nor singing, but he's not necessarily bad at them. Along with that, his production and the swagger he carries around, such as his dancing and his ability to switch things up in his music instead of just rapping in the same tone, which I think he fell victim to his earlier albums such as Sire, and even a bit of this album Erys. which I still both very like, by the way, Iris and Sire. But enough with that riff. Getting back to that track, Pain. After the few minutes, which was low key inspired by Travis Scott. But besides the point, after a few minutes of displaying this alpha male image of himself, like flying to Dubai and getting a lot of money, he does the same exact thing like he does in the track again, with expressing his vulnerability towards a girl he likes. Speed of expressing vulnerability towards a girl, he does the same exact thing in the track Summertime in Paris. However, he doesn't just build up a narrative of his cockiness. Instead, he dedicates the entire track to a moody, catchy song with the guitars and steady drums, combined with his vocals being displayed alongside his sister, Willow. It really is something that reminds me of Jaden's electric guitar album, and also even Sire. And second to not but least, one of my personal favorite rap verses from Jaden, Chateau, or him on the track Chateau, which really made me proud of how much potential he has with his rapping. Like, his flow was like impeccable, and he had a sense of confidence and calmness that really isn't seen a lot in his discography. Well, and what I'm trying to say is that, like, on some of the rap tracks of his, he'll have this powerful tone in his voice that he raps to, often in his displayed in his ad-libs as well. But the point I'm trying to make is this time he wasn't just like saying some random like stuff, you know? And I think that's like really is a big upgrade from some tracks like even Icon, like that's like one of his most popular tracks. It's on Sire. It's a good example for this scenario, because in Icon he would have like a lot of confidence in saying some sick lines such as all your verses sound like dirty dishes, except he literally just like, if you like look back at the in the Sire album, he compares himself to Kendrick Lamar in the track L. So it's really refreshing seeing Jaden actually like say something for once, instead of like just saying something for once without like the same generic flow and delivery. And also, now I'm about to go on a riff again, so buckle in. Okay, back to the Iris album. He ends off the album with the track Iris, in which he kind of ends it off similar to Sire, in which Sire was supposedly lost in the sunset. That's through the lyrics, by the way, and people were told to not be like him. But in the track Iris, it is said Iris dies late last night. In nearing the last minute of the track, and in the like last minute of the track, it transitions into a transparent, like moody melody that is identical to the track Sire, which is not really a coincidence, because the last minute of Iris is referencing to you know Sire. But from what I got from the track Iris, it seems as Sire has returned and the Iris has died. Sire being the one sworn to not be like, and Iris being the one whose ego got the best of him, which is like displayed from his previous tracks of him like flexing, bringing up pretentious as a result, Sire has returned and is still the vulnerable boy that is in a beautiful confusion. I really wish he stuck more to the moody type of tracks like Again or Pain, instead of like rapping in a monotone voice over some autotune in some of the tracks. Beside that, I give this album, drumroll, a 7.5 rating, mainly how poor it finished off compared to the tracks near the beginning. I believe P, I, N, and K is better than the tracks of Sire, the beginning of tracks of Sire. However, I really couldn't get into the consistency of the album, and as the tracks progressed in Iris. I like for example, I would listen to, like, when I'm listening to Iris, like, I would listen to a loud, aggressive Jaden rapping. Then in the next track, it would be him like singing slowly. And then the next track, I would hear him just pretentiously rapping about cars and money on the next one. But at the end of the day, like, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't like them. But furthermore, thank you guys for listening to Night's Podcasting, and maybe we'll do another artist next time.